with just 11 more days left for the enterprise operations examination, there's probably just one question creating chaos in your mind and maybe even robbing you from your sleep at night. Can I pass enterprise operations this time? Think of this examination as a race. You may have approached it as a marathon with consistent effort from the beginning right till the end, or due to other commitments, you may even have approached it as a sprint in the last moments. Well, no matter which category you belong to, in this 11th hour of the examination, with just 11 days more left, it's not the time to be going through loads of theory, but rather it's about going through those examination techniques, going through some of those critical and tough areas of the syllabus, and most importantly, building up your confidence. Good evening. My name is Tharindra Amarasekara from Wisdom Business Academy, Senior Lecturer for Enterprise Operations, Enterprise Management, and Business Economics, and welcome to E1 Confidence 90, your 90 minutes of confidence building for November 2011 examination. First things first, an examiner with experience in a plethora of diversified fields ranging from finance to academic to various energy construction and many more industries. A subject covering 4 critical business functions and also 1 module on global business environment. Marketing, human resources management, operations management, as well as we have, as we all know, information systems. 4 crucial business functions and another module, global business environment, making you ready for the current globalized business world. And above all, an exam expecting you to prove that you are the quality that fits to be in the junior management and junior executive levels of an organization. This is the storm that you are facing. My intention of this session, to make it valuable for you, is very simple. A recap of certain vital syllabus areas, global and local examples, and also a focus of exam techniques. Global business environment, one of the most crucial and newly added components under the new exam revisions in 2010. The picture you see, the iPhone, probably made in China, designed in Los Angeles, California, components supplied by Korean companies such as Samsung, and maybe shipped over to Sri Lanka through a Middle Eastern-based courier service company and used by you today. One of the fastest selling mobile phones, second only to Samsung, which is the world's #1 mobile handset retailer, I would say. So a perfect example of the current global business environment that we have. So what is globalization? Take a look at the dress that you have on the screen. Probably made in China, designed in Italy by some of the finest designers that you would have today in the world, material sourced from the finest cotton fields of England, transported once again, like I said, by a UAE-based courier service company, bought by a Nigerian on holiday in USA. What does all this mean? It makes one thing very clear, and that is, in today's context, the country differences, distances between countries just doesn't matter. What matters is that the entire world is interconnected and this whole world is becoming one place. Think of this. Today's economies are increasingly depending on one another. Sri Lanka depends on the Middle Eastern countries for oil. Certain countries and economies depend on Sri Lanka for certain inputs such as tea and apparel. So this shows that increasingly there is a growing interdependence between countries and economies. What do we have due to globalization? Due to globalization, today, Pepsi generates more sales globally than in USA. And that's why you would find, even though their North American sales are down by 6%, in fact, their global sales outside the US is up by 11%. And as a result, their total profits are up by $6 billion for 2011. This shows how important globalization is. Microsoft saves millions of dollars by offshoring to India. What about General Motors? General Motors today is almost facing a bankruptcy situation in USA. However, you should keep in mind that they are booming in China and they are building new factory after new factory due to the strong demand that they are facing. This is the reality of globalization we face today. A further few benefits: quality of life increases dramatically. Certain products which are not available in Asian countries are now available to everybody, and even it solves certain social problems. Just think, if not for this large amount of jobs from foreign companies in countries like Sri Lanka, India, and many more Asian countries, what would happen to the crime rate today? What would happen to the unemployment rate today? It would be massive. So this shows that globalization and its sub-products such as international trade leads to the reduction of social problems. However, keep in mind that never forget the ugly side of globalization. Ever since the increase of international trade in Brazil to Nigeria narcotics trade has been growing by millions. And on the other hand, we find in certain cultures, for example, in India, they have found in the recent years that with globalization, as more jobs become available to the female people, or I would say the female employee market in India, and as more and more females leave their home duties and get to the job market, the divorce rate has been increasing at a spiraling rate. Once again, negative aspects of globalization, as one could say. Audi, BMW, and even Mercedes-Benz, epitomes of automobile engineering excellence in Germany. What makes these companies so special? In other words, why is it that Germany is so good for cars? Italy is housing all the top brands such as Armani, Gucci, and Salato Ferragamo. The key reason for this is diamond theory. Diamond theory explains as to why some countries are better for certain industries than others. According to diamond theory, there are four concepts or four conditions that need to be met, including domestic demand condition, related and supporting industries, factor conditions, strategy, structure, and rivalry. For any country to be successful in a product, that country has to have a strong demand. Italy is excellent for fashion because Italians by nature, by birth, are fashion conscious. Related and supporting industries, connected industries have to be there. In Germany, these car brands are doing very well because all the required engineering support services exist in Germany. In even factor conditions, the required input, the required skill should be available. Keep in mind, there are two types of factor conditions. Number one, you would have basic conditions, that is skills of people and even the raw material. But on the other hand, you would find that you need advanced factor conditions as well, such as research facilities and so on. Finally, strategy, structure, and rivalry. Strategy and structure means the organizations of the industries. You would find that in Germany, all these car brands, Audi, BMW, even Benz, they get together and conduct certain amount of research. That's how well they have been organized, and they have common research facilities being carried out together. So there's a very good organization of all these competing companies to keep the industry alive. They realize keeping the industry alive is the key thing here. And also rivalry. They compete so heavily in their own home yard, when they come to the international market, they're used to competition. That drives them. So you would find that these four conditions, in fact, allows an organization to be benefiting from a country if that country has these four conditions. Upcoming economies in the world. Watch out. Here comes the emerging markets led by the BRIC, or as some would call it, now the BRICS. Emerging markets are markets or economies that are not recognized as the most developed. However, they are showing a vast potential of growth due to several factors. Number one, there are large amounts of population that they would be having. And number two, the strong availability of low-cost labor that they are having. So these factors lead to the growth of emerging markets. May I repeat again? Availability of low-cost labor and also large populations, as well as heavily developed urban areas along with thoroughly underdeveloped rural areas showing great potential. And a key thing here, these markets are important not only as manufacturing economies, but also consumer economies. A short while ago, you would have seen on the screen a watch, a Cartier brand, a luxury premium brand, Cartier, however, facing declining demand in the face of a recession in the Western world, once known for luxury demand. However, they were kept alive and they maintained position number 35 in the top brands of the world index thanks to their demand in China. So this shows that Chinese economy is important not only as a manufacturing economy. Today we call China the factory of the world. However, not only as a factory of the world, it's also important as a marketplace for consumers of the world. And one key factor driving the growth of these emerging markets is, number one, you have a strong offshoring trend, where a lot of organizations are trying to offshore their jobs to these economies where they know they can get things done cheap. For example, if you take in US, a normal average call center employee would have to get paid at least a minimum of $75 per hour. You bring the same scenario to China, it's probably less than $10 per hour. This shows the vast amount of profits that are there to be made through offshoring, and to this gold rush, companies are coming in fast and hard. But another key reason why these economies are growing is what we call foreign direct investments. Countries receiving investments from another country, to put it in a simple context. There are mainly two types of foreign direct investments. One is called acquisitions, where you go and buy over a company in another country, like Vodafone of UK buying over Hutch in India for a deal of $2.5 billion. And also, in the case of Nokia, they went and started their own factory without any such acquisitions, investing $210 million in 2007. And that's the case of greenfield investments, where you on your own, from the beginning, you start and then you carry out your investment. A few FDI facts. If you take a look at the screen, Walmart making an investment of $775 million in Brazil in order to expand their chain. I'll read it off the screen since it's not appearing. Coca-Cola investing $3 billion in Russia and $4 billion in China for 2011. Now, mind you, Coca-Cola invested only $1 billion from 1993 to 2003 in India. Only $1 billion total for the entire decade. However, you can see the increase, the spiraling increase of foreign direct investments that these companies are making in today's context. Moving on further, General Motors, like I said, making a $5 billion investment in China from 2011 to 2014. Unilever's making a 50 million euro investment in the Russian sauce manufacturing industry. And even luxury brands such as Burberry, Emporio Armani, these brands are also making heavy investments, with Burberry investing 100 million euros to launch in China, and also Armani investing $150 million in Russia. We'll be back after the break.